Hey guys, it's Sarah and today is Booklist Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library. And every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for the week. And this week we are doing our 5-star prediction follow-up. This round we worked with Kelsey from Essentially Booked, and I will leave her link down below. I really enjoy her channel. I really highly recommend you guys go and check her out if you haven't already. And she joined us this round for our 5-star predictions, and we decided to do backlist books. So kept it very open, pretty easy to pick anything that we wanted, basically anything that wasn't published in 2023. And I picked 3 books, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts. They're not great. Okay, it's interesting. All right, let's just start with, I usually try to go in order that I showed them before, but this time I'm going to go in order of a different order. So the first one is one that I read and I finished, and that is The Greyshirt by Kim Liggett. I really thought that this was going to be a 5 stars. Here's the thing though. I have such conflicting feelings about this book because for most of it, I really loved it. I really did. I really loved most of this book. I liked how dark it was. I was not expecting it to be as dark as it was, and I appreciated that. It was definitely shocking in certain areas, and yeah, so it gave me a lot of feelings, and I was really good. So this book, I'll tell you what it's about, and then I'll tell you why it wasn't 5 stars for me. This is a dystopian, I would say, that follows a village where in this village, the men believe that when women become a certain age, basically when they start their periods, they inherit magic. And in order to get rid of that magic, when they start their periods, they are sent as a group to a remote island to live there for a year, and that year, which is called the Greyshirt, gets rid of their magic altogether, so they can't use it. That's the belief, and the women buy into this completely. Okay, so we are following a young girl who is part of, like, this is her Greyshirt starting. And so we follow her, and she's going to this island with this other group of girls. And here's what's happening. Now, before they go, they are picked by the men to be married when they come back. Some women are picked. They don't have a choice. The men pick them. Some of them are not. The ones who are not picked are the ones who are going to come back, and they are going to be some sort of worker, whether they are working a trade or they're working in fields or whatever. They're doing some sort of work to help the village. Okay. I, again, loved most of this book, and it was violent. Wasn't expecting that, but I wasn't mad about it. But I hated the ending. Like, hated with a capital H, hated the way that this book ended. And I can't say why because I don't want to spoil anything, obviously, but it did not go the way that I really, really felt like it should have gone, Okay, I won't say anymore, but I felt like this could have gone in a different direction, and it would have been a lot better, and it probably could have been 5 stars, but it just wasn't. It left me with a lot of questions and wanting more and all that. So I questioned myself a lot, though. Like, am I just not liking the ending because it's not where I want it to go? Is there a different purpose for the way that this ended that I'm just not seeing because I just wanted to go somewhere else? So I kind of was wondering about that, and I don't really know the answer. I did end up giving this one 4 stars. I was trying to decide between 3 and 4. I don't think that the ending was enough for me to hate the book at all, because I did really enjoy it, like 75% of this book for sure. And I'm going to keep it because I feel like this is one I could revisit and maybe I would have different feelings about the ending later on. So that's also a thing that's kind of giving me a little bit of a, there's a little voice in the back of my head saying, try it again later. So I'm going to hang on to it, but it was 4 stars, was not 5. Yeah. So, okay. This next one. Oh, I have a lot to say about this one. The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I DNF'd this. Halfway through. I got to page 256. I think I wrote down when I DNF'd it. Yeah, 256. And this is a little over 400 pages. Okay. This is a romance book that follows a group of brothers who are set to inherit this place called Dreamland, which is basically Disney World. You get the Disney feels 100%. I mean, we're talking they're a part of this theme park to the point where they live on the property. They live at the theme park, which I thought was a little bit weird, but that's fine. And we are following one of the brothers who is set to inherit. And so each brother has to perform a certain task in order to get their inheritance. And so he finds out what task he has to do. And he sets out to start doing it so he can get his inheritance because he wants it. Okay, that's fine. And then he meets, so he's this typical cold billionaire, right? Doesn't think about other people. He's very standoffish. He doesn't care about people's feelings, blah, blah, blah. He's all about the bottom line, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't care who gets hurt or whatever happens to other people. He only cares about money and blah, blah, blah. Okay, got it. So, and then he meets one of the employees and she is it's a grumpy sunshine. That's what it is. I'm not 100%. I love that trope. And these characters were such caricatures of that, is what I felt like. And I think that really bothered me too, because she was so over the top cheery. And of course she's like clumsy and doesn't know what she's doing, but she lucks out and gets all these things. And like, she also read very young to kind of a disturbing point. I felt like, is she a teenager? Like that's kind of how she feels. And so that kind of gave me a little, she felt very, very young. And I don't know, they felt like cardboard cutouts of that trope and I didn't like it. Okay. So there's that. They go through all of these things, he like doesn't want to be in love and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, I had a bad breakup and blah, 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 but they're obviously drawn to each other. They definitely are. And, here is where I said, I cannot do this anymore. I'm going to spoil it a little bit. So if you haven't read this book and you don't want any details about anything, blah, 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 then I'll put a timestamp, like go to this, because then I'll be done talking about it. But I have to say, like, what really made me want to throw the book across the room and caused me to put the book down. I can't do this anymore. All right, so now's your chance. Go. Okay, for those of you who are staying, they go through this whole big scene where they're having a come to Jesus moment and it's good and they're talking and blah, blah, blah. They're finally like talking about things and their feelings and what's happening. I'm like, thank you. We're finally having a conversation. That conversation leads to the bedroom. That's fine. This is their first bedroom experience. That's fine. But they go through all this stuff. She's in tears. He's almost crying. They go through all this emotional thing, this whole big, huge thing. And right before they're about to get it on, he looks at her and he says, I can't offer you anything more than something casual. And I wanted to throw the book across the room. Then what the heck were we going through all this emotional stuff for? What? And she's like, okay, no. You do not go through all of this stuff that you are putting this woman through, and she's putting you through, quite frankly, to have something casual. No. I wanted to throw it across the room, and I stopped reading it. And I just went, I cannot read 200 more pages of this. I just can't. That made me so mad. It felt like a huge checklist of things to include in a romance novel, and all of the things are being checked off. And I was just like, come on. So this is not for me. I'm selling this. I can't. And I was so disappointed because I really thought I was going to love this book. But no, just no, can't do it. So DNF, no. Okay, last one. Welcome back for everyone who skipped the last part. Okay, so the last one that I had on my 5-star predictions was Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klum. And this one I did not get to. And guess what? I have a signed edition now, because guess who came into our store and signed our book stock for us? Mr. TJ Klum. I got to meet him, you guys. Enter picture here. I got to meet this man. He is just such a gem of a human being. He was so nice and cool and just talked to us and laughed and signed all of our books. And like, I have all of his books that I own now are signed, personalized to me, because he said, bring in whatever you guys have at home. And I did. And he was so awesome. Okay. But I didn't read this book. And it's because I was working some crazy hours at work. We had a lot going on. I was working between 2 different stores. It was just a lot happening at this time. And I literally did not have time to read. I would come home and just completely crash because I was so exhausted. I was working a lot of hours. And when I wasn't working, I was having to do all the other things. Like I had to do life things, which did not include a lot of reading, unfortunately. And it just got to a point where I said, I have to let a couple things go. I have to let a couple things drop right now. And I just had way too much going on, and I was not going to be able to get to all of it. So unfortunately, some of my reading was one of the things that was just easiest for me to say, okay, I need to pump the brakes a little bit here. So I did not get to this one. It's okay. It's going right back on my shelves. I will read, because TJ Klum is one that I want to read. All of his fantasy books, 100% for sure. So I will get to this one eventually, but I just wasn't able to get to it in the time frame because other things just unfortunately had to take a priority. Is that my most unsuccessful? I want to say that's my most unsuccessful round of 5-star predictions I've done so far. 1 4-star, 1 angry DNF, and then one I just wasn't able to get to. Yeah. Yikes. So here's hoping next round will be a lot more successful. Fingers crossed, guys. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. So that's what it is. Make sure you go check out Lindsay and Kelsey today and see how they did. Hopefully they did a lot better than I did. And we will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.